We're gonna have to wait a few minutes.
Okay.
She's gonna do it from there, too, so
Merci.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'd like to welcome you to the 2022-2026 Investiture and Organizational Meeting of the Jefferson County Committee. We're glad you're here, and thank you for your presence. We'll now have the invocation by Cal Mark, our county manager, and pledge by Justin Smith.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for being the God of the universe and this earth, our state, the God of all people. Create us all equal, God. Help us to love each other the way you love us. Help us to understand how much you love us so we can cut out all the nonsense and just love each other, take care of each other, and change the world in this county. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll begin with the invocation and oath of office of District 1.
What do you want me to come to? What do you want me to do?
Yes, right
What do you want me to stand?
here. If you have family, if you will.
Well, you know what? Then all my family, y'all can come on up. That's what you're here for today. Yep.
All right.
Good morning to the commissioners and the county officials who are present here today, and to the public who is also present here today. It is always an honor and a privilege for me to participate in the investiture of any government official. Historically, it goes back to the 15th century in England and France, where they fought wars over investiture and who had the right to do so, the governmental officials or the religious officials. And it really formed the beginning of the separation of church and state. So it's an important and solemn occasion when the power of government passes from one person to the other. It's especially nice when it passes from the same person on a re-elective term. So I'm here today to swear in the Honorable LaShonda F. Roberts Scales, thank you, and to the position of Commissioner for place number 1, Jefferson County. Ms. Scales, if you will put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me, please, ma'am. I, LaShonda F. Roberts Scales,
I, LaShonda F. Roberts Scales,
do solemnly swear that I will support
do solemnly swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
and the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
so long as I continue
so long as I continue
a citizen thereof,
a citizen thereof,
and that I will faithfully and honestly
and that I will faithfully and honestly
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I am about to enter
upon which I am about to enter
to the best of my ability.
to the very best of my ability.
To the best,
To the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. What do we do now?
Step off. On to the next commission.
Oh, so don't sign it right now. Don't sign it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We now have the investiture of Commission District 6.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning, Commissioner Tyson. I'm Ralph Cook, a retired justice of the Supreme Court of Alabama. It is indeed my pleasure to administer the oath of office to Commissioner Tyson. If you would, Commissioner Tyson, place your left hand on the Bible and your right hand to the heavens. And repeat after me. I, Sheila Tyson,
I, Sheila Tyson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
and the Constitution of the State of Alabama,
so long as I continue a citizen thereof,
as long as I continue a citizen thereof,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and honestly
and honestly
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I am about to enter,
and which I am about to enter,
yes, to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
so everybody can see you. Come right up here. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike Dolan. I used to be the probate judge here in Jefferson County. I'm now privileged to serve on the Alabama Supreme Court. I want you to know that I've known this young man here since a long time ago, over 50 years ago. We were both students at Sanford. I'm a little older than he is. Maybe I just got double promoted a few times, I'm not sure. But I do know this, that we were fraternity brothers. I was the pledge warden. He was one of the little pledges. And all of them, they were all rotten little boys, except one, except Jimmy. He's always been a good boy, even back in then. He was raised that way in Bessemer, Alabama, and he remains in Bessemer, same good guy that he was back then. He's married to a friend of mine, and it is my very much pleasure to administer the oath of office for this term to Jimmy Stevens. If you will, please put your left hand on the Bible. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, James A. Stevens,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Alabama,
of the State of Alabama,
so long as I continue
so long as I continue
a citizen thereof,
a citizen thereof,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and honestly
and honestly
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter
upon which I'm about to enter
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Not gonna announce me? Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner District 4.
All right. Joe, come up here.
Okay. Very good.
All right. I don't know why you drew the short straw or how it is that we got Judge Brown and Justice Cook and Justice Bowen and then probate judge from downstairs. But I'm going to do the best I can, okay?
All right.
When I started, July 1st, 2020, the very first person I met coming in, besides Judge Friday, who I already knew, was Joe, because there was an election commission meeting that morning. And I walked in from my desk across the park, and I didn't know what I was getting into, and you knew that. And you just kind of looked at me with sort of some sympathy and maybe a little bit of regret that I was in this situation. But you've been a steadfast friend and advocate for probate court and for the election commission. And I just want to thank you for that. And it is my honor and privilege to get to swear you in for a new term. So if you'll put your left hand on the Bible, and raise your right hand and repeat after me, all right? I, T. Joe Knight,
I, T. Joe Knight,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of Alabama,
and the Constitution of Alabama,
so long as I continue a citizen thereof,
so long as I continue a citizen thereof,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and honestly
and honestly
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter
upon which I'm about to enter
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Commission District 5.
I thought you were going to say saving the best for last.
They already did best. Go ahead.
I am very proud to be here once again, proud of everybody here, but this man is my commissioner, which makes him a little bit better than all the other commissioners here. And just a little history. When I first became probate judge here many years ago, 34 years ago, his father was head of the budgets. I'm not sure what his title was, but I know that he was a man that scrutinized the probate court budget very carefully. And that same philosophy of being careful with the citizens' money certainly came down to his son here, and I'm so proud of you, Steve. If you will now please put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Steve Ammons,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Alabama,
of the State of Alabama,
so long as I continue
so long as I continue
a citizen thereof,
a citizen thereof,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and honestly
and honestly
discharge the duties of the office
discharge the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter
upon which I am about to enter
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations,
Thank you,
Commissioner.
sir.
He gets the first say.
Will the duly sworn commissioners please take their seats?
If we had a good probate judge, we could give them to him to take these back himself.
We'll now call the November 16th organizational meeting of the Jefferson County Commission to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Ammons?
Here.
Commissioner Knight?
Here.
Commissioner Scales?
Present.
Commissioner Tyson?
Good morning.
Commissioner Stevens?
I'm here, thank you.
Roll call is complete. We will now open nominations for the position of Jefferson County Commission President.
Nominate Jimmy Stevens.
Second.
Hearing no further nominations, we close the nominations.
Hold on, Mr. County Attorney. I know that we are in the midst of a nomination. I'm going to nominate who I believe has been very supportive of our districts. It'd be up to that person, however they choose. But I do want to nominate Joe Knight as for president of the Jefferson County Commission.
Are there any further nominations? At this point, the nominations are closed. All in favor of Jimmy Stevens for Commission President, Ms. DeLibero, please call the roll.
Commissioner Ammons?
Yes.
Commissioner Knight?
Aye.
Commissioner Scales?
No?
Commissioner Tyson?
Yes.
Commissioner Stevens?
Yes.
That carries. Commission President will be Commissioner Jimmy Stevens. We'll now open the floor for nominations for President Pro Tem of Jefferson County Commission.
I'd like to nominate Joe Knight for pro tem.
Second.
Are there any other nominations?
I would like to nominate LaShonda Scales.
Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. All in favor of Commissioner Knight, Ms. DeLibero, please call the roll.
Commissioner Ammons?
Yes.
Commissioner Knight?
Aye.
Commissioner Scales?
Abstain?
Commissioner Tyson?
Abstain.
Commissioner Stevens?
Yes.
All right. Motion carries. Commissioner Knight is President Pro Tem. At this point, I will turn the meeting over to the President of the County Commission, Jimmy Stevens.
Thank you very, very much. We have before us the resolution of organization that was presented to the commission around 3 o'clock yesterday, Theo.
Correct.
All the commissioners had a chance to look at that resolution of organization. Chair will entertain a motion.
Mr. President, and congratulations, by the way. Before we do that, Mr. President, I want us to make sure that we have a discussion around it. So even if you have a first and second, I'd like to discuss this organizational structure, please.
Sure. We have a motion by Commissioner Ammons.
Second.
And a second from Commissioner Knight. Commissioner Scales, you have the floor.
I do. Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate it. And congratulations to all of my colleagues this morning for a fantastic win, and for the President and the new Pro Tem. Congratulations. There are several items, Mr. President, I mentioned that we have as it relates to tax assessor, tax collection. Has that been that language, County Attorney? We got a new document that has that removed due to conflict of interest?
The document that the clerk has strikes the liaison for tax assessor and tax collector.
All right. Okay. In addition to that, there is a language that concerns me as relates to, one is economic development. Also have a resolution that we can insert into this document. But basically, I want to know from you, County Attorney, who has access to this economic development fund? Is it a commissioner or all commissioners? And if so, how is that to be so based on our fiscal policy?
Economic development dollars are earmarked based on their purpose.
Okay.
So that being said, at this point, you all don't have your resolution of organization, but when you do, your resolution of organization indicates that all commissioners are members of each other's committees. So therefore, whatever is appropriate in the Economic Development Committee or in the economic development realm, those dollars are appropriate for spending accordingly.
Okay. So Is that determined by a unilateral decision of the chair, Mr. County Attorney, or is there, I want to be clear in terms of if there are economic development interests that any commissioner can be able to utilize that fund for the best interests of Jefferson County residents and stakeholders?
Again, all the dollars are earmarked as appropriated according to the establishment of economic development. As such, because all of you are members of each other's committees, any of the expenditures are voted on by the commission. As such, if there is a project or expenditures that are appropriate to be spent for economic dollars, that's not limited to the chair. That's just the person that heads the committee or puts items on for consideration. But those dollars are earmarked not by commission. They're earmarked by their use.
So that being said, County Attorney, can that language, in fact, I know it can be inserted so that we give clarification as it relates to this economic development fund that can be utilized by any sitting council, commission member of this body?
I think that's a separate motion. This is your this is your organizational setup, so it doesn't have anything to do with uses.
But my understanding that this document usurps any other document that is to be presented, which is the reason why I'm asking. That's what this document says.
I think I'd restate it again, is that this document deals with your organizational structure and your assignments. It doesn't have anything to do with the expenditure of funds. So if there was going to be some specific amendment or changes relative to expenditures of funds, that would not be a part of this particular resolution. That could be taken up by the commission at the commission's discretion, but that would not be appropriate for this particular resolution.
Okay. One other thing, County Attorney. I had a concern as relates to oversight, and I do want to say for the record, I am concerned that economic development, if it's not clarified in even this organizational structure, that it can be interpreted as it has been previously when I served as vice chair, okay? Which that too has been taken away. So that being said, there's also, which I believe should be under finance, it says about oversight. We're in page 12, section 7. It says about oversight over all general obligation debt, enterprise funds, capital planning, strategic investments. The concern is the oversight over all general obligation debt. Again, I'm seeking clarification in terms of that being under one committee. Are we not in a position where we can amend this document to reflect that there would be no one committee chaired by one individual that would have that kind of authority to make those decisions over our general obligations for the county?
It's the commissioner's document at this point, so you all can make whatever changes that you would wish to make in that light. But currently, these are committee assignments, and so that's the will of the body. I think presently you've got a motion, a second for the existing document. If you were going to make some substitute motion or something, that would be appropriate. But at this juncture, I think what you have before you is a document that cites the responsibilities and oversight of those commissioners, but understanding specifically when it relates to any kind of general obligation debt or any expenditures, that always has to be approved by the body as a whole. So that's not something that can be done unilaterally by any commissioner.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
So what you're saying is that if any of us, any 5 of us found an economic development project within Jefferson County, we can bring it to the body and put it up for a vote.
Absolutely.
So what you're saying, if we want to travel to go to learn about any economic project that we can bring to Jefferson County, we can come and bring it to the body and get a vote.
I'm saying all of the expenditures that are appropriate in economic development are approved by you, the commission, so you certainly can bring that before the commission if it's an appropriate expenditure, regardless, travel, development, or otherwise. The parameters for the use of those dollars are already set forth, so it's not something that is controlled by any one commissioner. Each commissioner is a member of that committee. So to answer your question, that would be appropriate.
So if there are any expenditures, County Attorney, that have been done, whether it be the use of the county credit card, and it is voted on subsequent attending, whether it be a conference or whatever the case may be, then that would not be something that could not be utilized by any commissioner. I want to be very clear on that. That's why I want to get that on the record. So, for example, in the past, we have passed different travel, but it was after the travel had taken place. I'm saying, is that also permissible with any commissioner, seeing that we are a 5-member body of this Economic Development Committee? Because right now, the Economic Development Committee for public consumption is the only committee that doesn't have oversight by the county manager. All other departments have it. And so that's why I'm seeking clarification, because right now you have $10 million annually that is going into this particular department, and which is not a department, but at the same token, there is no oversight. And so that's what I'm asking for this morning, is that we have oversight in terms of all committees. I believe that they should have processes and procedures. And I want to make sure I'm articulating my question, that in the event that any commissioner travels as they deem that it is in the best interest of Jefferson County stakeholders for economic development purposes, that those dollars, whether it be used by credit card or whatever, that won't be held against a commissioner because they did not seek the approval of the chair.
And the same response that I would give is that the governance of economic dollars and expenditures is governed by the rules set forth as it relates to those expenditures. So I would not give any opinion as to any specific instance. What I would say, that the expenditure of those dollars is governed by the document that covers the expenditure of the economic development money. And as such, however that is appropriate, and whichever commissioner does that, it's governed according to those guidelines.
Okay, so this fund, in terms of its use, we don't have to go to a specific member's office or their staff in order to have access to the use of this fund.
Commissioner, the same thing I stated before.
No, that's what has happened in the past, and that's why I'm saying it for the record, that in the past, if there is an ask, it has had to go through a commissioner's office staff. I'm taking away their staff, and my question is, if we have the authority to be able to identify, especially districts 1 and 2, because they're the most underserved, if we identify projects, I want to make sure that whatever that number is for that account, that it can be used for all 5 commissioners. At this present time, is not. What I'm attempting to accomplish is for that to be the case. It should not be housed in one commissioner's office, that they have access to whatever this number is that goes to that account. All commissioners should be privy to that information and should be able to have the liquidity to do so. And if that can be done through this document, then that's what I'm saying that needs to happen. It shouldn't be where we got to beg when others just take and do whatever they feel that is necessary. We all are commissioners. We all represent 1/5, 20% of Jefferson County. And together we make one body, which is a commission.
Well, in budgets, we set up a travel for each commissioner. And you're asking, would that be in addition to what?
Oh, it's in addition to, because this particular chair of this committee, who is the same chair as before, their office don't have to expend their funds. They have an economic development fund. And I'm saying that we should not have to use our personal funds out of our office in order to be able to do economic recruitment for the county. If one commissioner can do it, all 5 commissioners can do it.
And I guess what I'm saying is the same thing, is that if there's going to be any amendment to your processes, but if you ask me about the eligibility of spending, it's done according to the uses that are set forth regarding economic development dollars, and that's not specific to any commissioner. You designate a chair in this document. Beyond that, if there is any amendment or specific uses or restrictions that this commission wants to make on those dollars, the same resolutions and governance that you have regarding those dollars can be changed by this commission. But this document strictly deals with the appointment of a chair of that organization. It doesn't have anything to do with the expenditure of funds. But any amendments that you would wish to make specifically about allocations of dollars of economic development, that would be for a separate resolution at a separate time.
Well, I will say this and I'm going to be done. Let it be known to the general public, you see the makeup of this commission. We represent a Democratic county, and the 2 Democrats will be locked out. There's no committee on this structure as we speak that allows us to be able to access any local dollars. Federal dollars we all have. Local dollars you don't. So I want it to be very clear. I'm not offended. I want these 2 gentlemen who have sat here for 12 years, and they've ruled and reigned, and I'm just saying, I don't understand it. But what I do understand is reading, and it's fundamental. And I hope that the county see this today, that you have 2 Democrats, you have 2 women, and at the end of the day, not one of us, and we just came out of a consent decree because blacks were denied certain treatment here. And not one, if you look at the check, I want everybody to investigate this. You get a check from the county, you're going to see these 3 men. You will not see Tyson or Scales. Now, if anybody else is okay with that, that's fine. I object to that thought that we can sit here, and as this commissioner, and I said this to the new president, because I have nothing to lose at this point. You will never tell this commissioner to conform, and don't think that you will be challenged. I didn't come here to be a child. I came here to be an adult. And we came here to take care of business, and we got bonds, sewer debt. That's why I was asking about that this morning. We have sewer debt that particularly affects District 1 and 2. And yet the chair of economic development is over general obligation debt. So if they choose not to have certain conversations, they don't have to. We have to demand it. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And moving forward, Mr. President, if you don't want it to be said publicly, then don't say it to me privately. I had nothing to do with any of this setup today. I am only dealing with a document as it has been given to me. I'm going to serve the citizens of Jefferson County, and I'm going to do it well, and particularly for District 1. But what you're not going to do is put me or any other commissioner that looks like me in an isolated position where one has access to money and the other has to beg for it, because you got 3 who are going to vote with one another, and as a result, we will be outnumbered. Now, it ain't coming across like that for right now, but that's what it's going to be. And in fact, that's what I have been told, that you fool around here and the 3 Republicans are going to get together and the 2 of you ain't going to matter. And I get it. The only thing that I'm saying, if there is any amendment that can be done to ensure that all districts have equal representation in terms of money. Everything is about money. Don't matter about the power. That's irrelevant. The power is in the money. You don't have the money, he who holds the gold makes the rules. If you don't have it, you got to be subject to it. So I want to be clear. And Mr. President, I'm going to support you to the degree you're willing to support my district and everybody that looks like me in my district. Okay?
Fair enough.
You're welcome.
All right, we have a motion second. Would you like to speak, Commissioner Thompson?
Yes, I would.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to say, from this day on, if we have any projects, he have told us the process. If we have any economic development projects, we just need to bring it to the body. Or any type of economic travel, we need to bring it to the body and get a vote. So he have made, P.O. Lawson, county attorney, made that statement, and that's the process that I think that we need to do. I don't want to go off the whim off of who said what, but I know what writing is, and I know how to read. And I think the process would be treated fairly with these commissioners, and if not, I will say something. I'm not a very talkative person unless you go to messing with voting, and then that's when you're going to hear me say something. But I want to be treated fairly up here, and I want my district to receive what it deserves. No, we do not vote on everything and support everything that all of us bring to the table. But I would like for us to work together to try to solve the problems within Jefferson County and for the citizens. Today, I just don't feel like even raising my voice because I have been drained from the last 4 weeks of complaints about the water rate. $4,000 and $5,000 across this county, charging people for water bills. Now, we're going to fight, let's fight for that, because it's ridiculous. And it's not a color issue. They are affecting everybody in Jefferson County. There's not a commissioner up here that hasn't got a call about these folks' water bills. Now, that's what we need to do something about. Now, we got the problem with the economic development. We're gonna come to you, Commissioner, and I believe you will support our effort because I know it's a grocery store conference coming up that I think that me and Commissioner Scales do need grocery stores in our district. I will get my staff to pull the paperwork so we can try to go and try to learn more about how to get some grocery stores within our district. So we can start off with that. And congratulations to all of us.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second for the resolution. I'm sorry.
I'd like to
Mr. Knight?
tag on Miss Tyson. I want to say thank you for the way you stood up against the Waterworks Board on our behalf because it affects, what affects them affects us, but it affects all the citizens. So thank you for your doing that.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. DiLiberto, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Emmons?
Yes.
Commissioner Knight?
Aye.
Commissioner Scales?
Abstain.
Commissioner Tyson?
Now, pass. I want to think about this for another second.
Commissioner Stevens?
Yes.
Commissioner Tyson?
I'm going to abstain on this document.
Okay, we have the resolution of organizations passed 3 to abstention, or I think they're recorded as nays, aren't they?
Correct.
County Attorney?
Correct.
Abstention, and remind everyone that abstention is
You're welcome to
recorded as nay.
recall it, Mr. President. I'll just say no. Is that what you want?
No, we're fine.
I'll give you what you want.
For the
If
record.
that's what you want, for the record, I'll say no. You can recall it. You can call it by name, and I'll say no. Since that's what you're saying, abstention is nay.
I don't think we can recall at this point.
No, it's not going to be. A resolution to approve Jefferson County Rules of Order and Procedure. Chair will entertain.
I move that.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Ms. DiLiberto.
Commissioner Emmons?
Yes.
Commissioner Knight?
Aye.
Commissioner Scales?
Abstain.
Commissioner Tyson?
This is on the rules.
Rules
it's
and order.
pretty generic.
The what?
Just our rules in order. What we did last year. or last,
okay. Yeah, I vote yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Stevens?
Yeah, yes. The last item for our organizational resolutions is the 2022 and 2023 pre-commission and commission meeting calendar.
I'll move the item.
Have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. Ms. DiLiberto.
Commissioner Emmons?
Yes.
Commissioner Knight?
Aye.
Commissioner Scales?
Pass.
Commissioner Tyson?
Yes.
Commissioner Stevens?
Yes, thank you. So the,
We can alter that, though, with a vote.
Of
the
course.
commission.
and we do occasionally.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, you talking about the calendar?
That's what you
Yes,
just
sir.
voted no.
No, I didn't say.
You abstained.
She passed.
And let me take care of myself. Thank you. Then I'm going to vote in the affirmative.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
County Attorney, we have 11 other items for consideration. We did not have a chance to review these, so these will be considered as new business.
They're already placed on the agenda. Your rules of organizations would have required you to do something with them, for them to get on the agenda when you had a committee, but you didn't have a committee during this period, so these items were duly placed on the agenda.
Okay, Commissioners, you have 11 items.
I move 1 to 11.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for 1 through 11. All in favor say aye. 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 County Attorney,
Welcome.
thank you very much. We appreciate your diligence and everything that you've done. County Manager.
Welcome, congratulations, everybody was unopposed, that's pretty remarkable. Jefferson County's come a long way, and looking forward to going a lot longer, a lot further in the next 4 years.
Commissioner Tyson.
Well, I know we have been through a pandemic and a lot of crisis, and I've won some things and I've lost some things. But I want us to work together. And I know y'all tired of me saying this. I really do. I want us to work together. And I don't want not one commissioner to feel like they are being slighted in any kind of way. I really don't. Now, I can raise more hell than a little bit, and y'all know I can.
Amen.
But I really do. I don't want that to happen to us. Not in this climate. The climate is really bad out there, and we don't need that. Jefferson County don't need that. We really don't. The citizens deserve better. We're in a crisis now with the economic values. Just everything is just, a canned good is over $2 now. People are suffering in so many ways. And if we have ever needed to come together, it's now. When the water bill go up, the sewer bill is like 4 times more than it ever been. So I would like for us to work together, in sake of peace and doing the right thing and supporting these citizens in Jefferson County.
Thank you. Commissioner Adams?
I agree 100% that we all need to work together, and we can do things better when we're doing them together. I agree with the economy in the state it's in right now, and the interest rates the way they are, the cost of a loaf of bread. It affects everybody, and so we need to make sure that we sharpen our pencil every day and make sure that we're doing with the people's money what we're supposed to be doing with the people's money and do it appropriately. But I'm very proud of the work that this commission has done over the last 4 years in bringing the largest capital investment in Jefferson County history, and hopefully that we continue to do the same with more opportunity.
Thank you. Mr. Scales?
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me say this, that I am very excited about the next 4 years. I was looking at something just yesterday, and I'm reminded that when Joseph was thrown in the pit, and I've learned that it's a good thing to be in the pit because only God can take you to the palace. And so I'm at peace today because I recognize that a position or a title don't make you who you are. You empower the position. The position doesn't empower you. And just as I said today, it's all right to talk about water rates. It's all right to talk about bread and all other things. But I'm always asked, where's the money? Where's the money? I hear what you say, but I watch what you do and I watch your votes. And moving forward, that's what's going to happen. When I came over here And Mr. President, if you don't mind to oblige me, just this one last time. When I came over here, I never forget that the county did not want to be on social media, didn't want the meeting to be broadcasted. And guess what happened? They can't beat me broadcasting. Thank you, Helen. I appreciate that. Because if you really are about people, you want oversight. And until we recognize that we are disproportionately affected in a Democratic county, and that we still are playing by another set of rules, and it takes courage to be able to stand up against what you know is not right. See, I have a philosophy. I came into politics with a good name. I'm going to leave with a good name. If you're looking for this commissioner to bow down, you won't get it. You didn't make me, and you can't break me. The only thing you can do is take care of the citizens of Jefferson County, including District 1 and 2. That's all you can do. We're getting ready right now to refinance bonds. We've been told that you're going to have some community meetings. Well, we'll see. Your water rate going up, and it didn't require your vote. And these bonds getting ready to go up, and it don't require your vote. What this has shown me today is that the unfortunate reality is that some of us, we just got to keep pushing. We got to keep pushing. But I will tell you this, whatever on this paper, don't matter whatever verbal agreement has been had, if it ain't on this document, it really don't matter. And if you can tell me that the Democrats got to beg, and I promise you, I'm going back again to what I said earlier. It's not for us to bring an economic development project. I'm saying you can travel and you don't have to have the chairperson's approval because it represents economic development. Now, we're going to see about these 5 C's. I've heard these C's so many times about communicate, and all of that, and we're not communicating. But it's time for us, those of us who are really about the business of the people, let it be about the people. If it show up in your wallet, then guess what? It's for the people. If you stop arguing about opening up this courthouse just so that folk can be able to vote when it's equally permissible for them, then that's equity. We ain't even at equality. So the only thing I will say in conclusion, when you dig one ditch, pull out that shovel, because I promise you, just as sure as I'm sitting here today, you'll fall therein. I told the president that privately. I'm going to say it publicly. No weapon that's formed against me will be able to prosper. I'm going to be effective wherever I am. I'm going to find a penthouse, even in a prison. And in fact, if those who know me, you'll recognize that I'm not even in prison, because I'm free. You don't have to accept certain checks. You free. Only thing I say is that if any time that this commission is not fair to Districts 1 and 2, I'm going to exercise my right as a commissioner, and folk going to know it. You're going to know it. I'm tired of this foolishness, and it's time for us to be right. If you said 3 men make a difference and 2 women don't, something wrong with that. If you look at this organizational chart, and I encourage every last one of you get a copy of it. If we are not on the boards, we are on the menu. That's Regional Planning Commission, Metropolitan Planning Organization, BBA, and any other economic development arm. If we are not at the table, we are on the menu. They receive money from this county. They are obligated to make sure that economic development is not the duty of a commissioner. The commissioner should be able to help support it by way of passing resolutions. But it's not our job, but we're having to do it because we don't have equity. And I say this in closing, there is a difference between equity and equality. And like I told this president, you don't decide my fate. Nobody on this commission decides my fate. I encourage every last one of you get involved in your communities. See if this sewer debt gonna go down. Since everybody up here said that they for the people, see if it doesn't rise to the occasion that you paying a higher water bill And you're getting ready in 2023 and beyond to pay a high sewer bill. Gonna see how much love is, what love does there. But I thank you, Mr. President, and I appreciate it.
Commissioner Knight.
Well, that's quite a act to follow, but thank you very much.
I meant for it to be that way.
I know. Since you over the sewer, I hope you will.
No, I'm not
those
over
rates
anything.
down. You over that committee?
I get it.
All right. 12 years I've served as a Jefferson County Commissioner, and this will start my 4th term, and I'm very proud to continue to serve all the people in my district and in the county. We've had a few peaks, but we've had a lot of lows over the last 12 years. But we are on a steady upward path, in my opinion, and we've got to keep going. We have some huge hurdles ahead, as you've seen, and there's been a lot of talk about travel and expenses and stuff like that. Well, you know, as the finance chair, I've had to, when we first came in, there was no travel, there was no money. And, you know, we have upped that each and every year, and I think the travel budget for each commissioner's office, no matter what the assignment, is pretty substantial this year. So I understand what you're saying about the economic development. I think there's an administrative order with regard to economic development. We'll be happy to revisit it. Yes, we will.
It's no longer.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
And I appreciate my colleagues for, even if you didn't vote for me for pro tem, I appreciate being able to serve in that capacity, and I look forward to serving as the vice president of the Alabama County Commission Association in the coming year, and next year I'll be president of that organization. So I have a big road ahead too, but it doesn't diminish my duties here for my district and for this county. And I'll work very hard, as I've done for 12 years, and try to be fair to everybody that I deal with. And I'll continue that commitment. Thank you very much. I'm proud to be reelected. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Knight. You know, I want to reiterate what Commissioner Knight said, is that, you know, it's nice to have money to worry about. When we got here, we had to cut everything. Sheriff enjoys an $80 million budget now. When we first arrived, we had to cut the previous sheriff $20 million. And because we just didn't have the money, we had to lay off nearly 1,000 families because we just didn't have any money. But we have worked together as a commission. And Democrats, Republicans have worked together in unity to bring this county to where it is today, where we have those funds in which to work with, where we have those funds to improve your quality of life, where we have those funds to where we will utilize them. Now, those C attitudes are communicate, cooperate, coordinate, but there's another C, it's compartmentalize. It's to set aside those items that we do not agree on so we can move the body forward. And the last one is commit. We have to have commitment to get it job done. Now, these next 4 years, we will act as a body, and we are committed to improving your quality of life. We certainly do appreciate everyone that's here today, and thank you so very much, and we need your thoughts and your prayers moving forward. God bless, and this meeting is adjourned. I've never done that. I did the first day.